Hi there, it's Saturday the 18th of October 2014. This is Andy Rowe on trendfollower.co.uk, and I'm just having a weekly look at the key indices that I like to look at each week, starting off with the French market. Now this is a very interesting candle, and I'm sure that the people who like to look at candlesticks will have something to say about this. The candle has a very long down bit and a short up bit, but really hardly any body at all. So the index hasn't moved very much at all, which is fascinating because looking at the other candles around and about, most other candles have much more body than this. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens to the French market next week. This is a sign of either sort of the bottom of the downturn or possibly the opposite. We'll see. And in fact, we'll see this as a theme throughout the indices. This is the DAX. So the DAX, the German market, rose this week a little bit. One stage it was down a lot, but recovered to move up a little bit this week. Dow Jones Industrial Average was down this week. It didn't close below its Donchian channel, but it has closed below its average for the year, which I think is significant. But if we go back to 2012, we can see it did the same thing. The next week it came back up and then went on to make a good rally upwards. So yeah, that's the Dow Jones. Crude oil did go down to make a new low. It didn't close below this region of support that I've drawn in, but it did go below it at one stage. So everyone's talking about the price of oil dropping and dropping, but the reality is that it's no lower than it was back in the middle of 2013. So well, the spring of 2013, so 18 months ago. So I wouldn't say it's been dropping and dropping. It's been trading within a range. So you could argue this is actually a good point to go long oil because it's possibly at the bottom of range and maybe it'll bounce up. But of course, I don't know what will happen. The FTSE went down this week, but it didn't end up the week as low as it had gone. So there's obviously been some sort of recovery towards the end of the week, and this is the major theme through the indices. So the FTSE 250 again, it was a rising week, but at one stage was down quite a lot. The 350 was down this week, but only slightly, hardly any body in its candle. The Nasdaq again bounced right down to its 50 MA, but came back up again, but overall a losing week. The Japanese index, the Nikkei, came down through its 50 MA, quite a strong move down for the Nikkei. Bonds did the opposite. They kind of rose up and rose down again. So bonds tend to do the opposite of the stock market. So again, no great movement, but at one stage it had risen up quite a lot. And the S&P, the 500 biggest US companies, went down a lot but recovered, although they did end up the week down and finished slightly below the moving average for the year. The Aussie market came up during the week, the ASX 200. Gold rose. It seems like gold's found a bit of a bottom here, and this week it rose. It had risen the week before, so maybe gold's on the turn. It seems to be struggling to break down through this this level of support, and if it goes up further, then some people would argue it's on the rise. Who knows? The TR Property Investment Trust, something I'm always keen to follow. This week, went down a lot and then rallied quite a bit. So overall, end of the week slightly down from the beginning of the week, but not as low as the week before. So massive movements in the markets, but no massive changes, one could say. So bond markets, ETF Vanguard again rose quite a bit during the week, but fell back down, but ended up the week higher than it started. So really, that's the summary. Lots of volatility, not much movement. Is anything any different? Not really, I don't think so. It looks like bonds are rising a little bit. It does look like stock markets are still looking a bit nervous, looking like things are moving down. In terms of my trading, how will it influence me? I think probably on the edge of things, I'd err on short trades myself, but I think you can argue the toss either way. So some things are probably going to go up, some things are going to go down. I'm still going to look at the graphs and make trades appropriate to the graph. So there we go. That's my summary of the market for Saturday, the 18th of October 2014. So have a great weekend, and I'll catch up with you next weekend.